Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are working on another algebra problem, specifically a graphing or second degree equation problem. So this question says, on the graph to the right, when x equals 1/2, y equals 2, and when x equals 1, y equals 1. The graph is symmetric with respect to the vertical line at x equals 2. According to the graph, when x equals 3, y equals what? So if you notice, I don't actually have this graph filled out yet. There is a picture of the graph in the book, but I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with you guys, and then I'm also going to explain why we don't even actually need the graph anyway, but we'll go ahead and do it with the graph first. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is label my axes. So this is our y-axis, and this is our x-axis. Now I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. So it tells us when x equals 1/2, y equals 2, so that's somewhere right in there. And when x equals 1, y equals 1, okay, so that's somewhere here. All right, and it tells us that the graph is symmetric to the vertical line at x equals 2. So the vertical line at x equals 2 is here, like something like that, and this is x equals 2. Now it says, according to the graph, when x equals 3, y equals what? So in the book, you're actually going to have this nice little graph drawn that looks something like this. Something like that, and it's symmetric, so it looks something like, oops, something like this, roughly. That's a rough estimate. So by looking at the graph, we can kind of guess, right? Because at 3, we look, and it looks like it's at 1, right? But another way we can do this is if we just think about what the problem tells us. It tells us that it's symmetric about the vertical line, x equals 2. So that tells us that whatever value 1 has, whatever y value x equals 1 takes on, that's the same value that x equals 3 is going to take on. So that tells us that these points are going to be the same. So when it gives us this piece of information here and it says x equals 1, or when x equals 1, y equals 1, that tells us that when x equals 3, y also equals 1, because it is symmetric about this line. And since 1 is 1 away from x equals 2 and 3 is also 1 away, they're going to have the same y values. So hopefully that makes sense. I do think that you could also just solve this problem by looking at this graph and saying like, well, you know, at x equals 3, I know it's not going to be a negative value, right? I know it's not going to be 0 just by looking at this. So the only ones you might be between would be 1/2 and 1, but it looks like it's pretty clear that it's 1. So, or of course you can use the symmetric aspect to help you out. All right, well, I hope this video was helpful. I do have 3 really quick homework assignments for you guys. So first is to go ahead and grab your free GMAT formula sheet if you haven't done so yet. Number 2 is to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and extra credit, of course, goes to anybody that leaves me a comment telling me what they're struggling with most regarding the GMAT. And number 3 is to do question number 10 by next Tuesday. All right, I will see you guys next time.